Hello, everyone. It's Sunday once again. My favorite day of the week because this is the Ask the Drummer Day, and as you know, I've always loved drummers, and I'm really, really happy that it's still going. Nearly 3 years now. But yeah, it's a Sunday, so hope you're all having a relaxing time. It's we've actually started early. It's 2 minutes till 2 o'clock in the UK, which means it's like 2 minutes till 9 in the evening in Manila. I'm sure a lot of you, my dear friends in Manila, are still up and maybe having dinner or something. So hopefully you're all sort of like tuned in and joining us on Astrodrama. I'm nervous, but I'm really excited about today's guest because when I posted about the guest announcement post last week, everyone who saw like commented, is all like saying he's a legend, and he is in the drumming world. He is a legend. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm nervous as well, but anyways, I'm sure. I mean, drummers. I have been so lucky with drummers because, as I said, nearly 3 years, and we've had some drumming legends on the show. But this is really, I think, my friend Dennis said this is the biggest name so far. So I'm not gonna I'm gonna bring him on now. My dear friends, please welcome Mr. John Coghlan.
Hello.
Yeah. did I say it right? Coghlan or Coghlan?
Coglan's fine. Yeah, the H is silent.
Coghlan. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Yeah, looking forward to speaking to you.
Oh, thank you so much. And I really want to just say thank you to Miss Jilly because Jilly's the one who made sure that this happened. So thank you to her, and thank you as well for saying yes. To ask the drummer, what's the weather like in? Are you in? I don't know exactly where you are. Are you in London or
No, Oxfordshire.
Oxfordshire? So
Yeah.
what's the weather like that? It's still not t-shirt weather, is it? It's like,
Well, it's been raining on and off, and a bit grey. But other than that, what can you expect? I'm looking forward to some sunshine, really.
yeah, yeah. Um, I was saying this to you earlier before we came on the show because my generation in the Philippines, because I'm originally from the Philippines,
Yeah.
it's different for us. Status quo for us is sort of like different from a lot of the people my age here in the UK. Because for them it's like the 70s, the original, so like right from the beginning. But because for us, status quo didn't actually reach us until say Live Aid time or Band Aid time, which is in the 80s. But anyways, before we actually continue with the questioning, I just want to say hello to my colleague at Kingby Records, Neil Barker. He said hi, John. So he's joined us. Thank you for joining us, Neil. So welcome to Ask the Drummer. Episode 123 is all about you, John Coghlan. So can I just first ask you, where were you born? Are you from Oxfordshire?
Born in London. Well, Dulwich, really, sort of South London, near Crystal Palace. Yeah, long time. In 19th to the 9th, 46. I'm quite old.
And what was it? What was Dulwich like when you were sort of like growing up? Especially like, is there a music scene there?
Well, I don't know if there is now. I'm not sure, but there was a Dulwich College. There was lots of schools, and there was I I went to Kingswood and Kingsdale School, and near Crystal Palace, and yeah, it was South London. It was all right, but got to start somewhere.
um, I believe that your mom is like half French. So is
Oh,
that right?
well, the Coghlan family is my father was from Glasgow in Scotland, and my mum is from London, England, and of course we all lived in London, well, South London. And my grandmother from my mum's side was French, and
Wow,
you
right.
know, Coghlan is an Irish name, so I'm a bit of a crossbreed.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Neil said that he's actually really looking forward to this episode because Status Quo were the first band that he ever liked when he was only 4 years old. So,
Oh,
and his parents had the Blue for You album, and they used to play a lot. Yeah, thanks for that, Neil. So, are you from a musical family?
not really. I learned to play drums really by my parents who loved ballroom dancing. They used to take me on the weekends to CPH, was the Crystal Palace Hotel. They had dance
Okay.
bands on, and I remember um, them taking me, me sitting there watching the drummer, and I thought I could do that. Well, I suppose I taught myself really, but yeah, that's where it all came from. The jazz really, and those big bands, 20-piece orchestras and things. And mum and dad just loved dancing, but that's how it all started. My dad got me my first drum kit, which was a Broadway, which is a little tiny little drum kit, and yeah, that's how it started, Broadway. So I don't have that anymore, but the only kit I have from '65, I think it was my Ludwig Super Classic. It's the same. It's the same drum kit that Ringo used, the same colour, and exactly the same. I still got that, and the one I use now
Wow.
is also for is a Yamaha kit as well, and Zildjian cymbals.
Yeah. So you've always been drawn to the drum kit. Did you try and learn any other musical instrument?
No, it's funny. No, I don't really play anything else. I don't play guitar or keyboards or trumpet or saxophone. No, and I never really got round to it. I remember picking up like Francis's guitar and Rick's guitar and Alan's bass, and it all seemed, I don't know. I thought, well, maybe I should have learned, but I didn't anyway. Just put the guitar back down and get back on the drums. I just like the thing about playing drums. Do four things at different, both feet, both hands, and play four different rhythms. That's how it works.
Yeah, yeah. Um, According to Wikipedia, you learned how to play the drums from Lloyd Ryan, who also um, who also taught Phil Collins how to play the drums.
Well, it
Is
was,
that right?
yeah. We met Lloyd in 1965 at Butlins Minehead because the Spectres with Francis Allen, me and Jesse Wolski, no, Roy Lyons, sorry, and keyboards, and we um, we learned to well we. But I say learn. No, we actually played in the rock and roll ballroom. Twice a day. I think it was in the summer season, and it was a long time ago, '65. And Lloyd Ryan gave me some lessons, about laying it out a bit more and maybe hitting the drums a bit harder than I needed to, but or we needed to for those certain songs we were doing. But yeah, it was good, and I haven't seen Lloyd Ryan for a long time.
It's do you know the thing about social media? Social media I find amazing because I found him on Facebook, and I also sent him a message, and he, fortunately for me, I was so lucky that he said yes, that he's gonna come on and ask the drummer as well. Because the only reason I found out about Lloyd Ryan is there's a 12-inch record that he did, like I think a few years ago, or that we've got on Kingby Records in Manchester, and I looked him up, and I couldn't believe that he's actually sort of like taught Phil Collins, and now yourself as well, so like how to play the drums. So, and he's, so because you're quite active on social media as well, isn't that you're aren't you? You're on Facebook,
Yeah,
and yeah. So it's just amazing that people can actually contact you and find you. So
yeah.
yeah. So from that one, from Lloyd Ryan, and you were playing sort of like in a uh, bandstand, you said, so it was like a boardroom or something. So what was your first band?
Wow. The first band, I suppose, technically was in the Air Cadets. I was at school. And 19, I met this little band in 1962. I was in the Air Training Corps, and we put little groups together in a squadron, and we were Air Cadets, and we practiced in the drill hall on a Sunday. Wally Rogers, Johnny Bush, and me, and we just did shadows instrumentals, and two guys kept coming in saying, "Can we listen?" Now it's Francis Rossi and Alan Lancaster, and they had a little band and asked me to, "Are you doing it?" And asked me to join the band, which I, at that time, I did, and like I went on to 1965, and when
Yeah.
we were playing at Butlins, and that's where we met Rick Parfitt, and in 1965 we got Rick to join the band as well after that.
Oh wow, Butlins in Minehead, or because I know that there's Butlins in Bognor Regis as well, and so
Yeah, yeah, I think we played there as well, but I believe the 65 was Minehead in Somerset, and with
oh wow,
Francis
yeah.
and Rick. Yeah, yeah, good days.
Yeah, because I go to Butlins every year for Shine On Festival, the Shine On Music Festival. So that's why I was so like when I found out about Butlins, I just thought, oh wow, it's still going. There's they're still there, and they're
Yeah,
still connected with the music.
they did a McVention, I think. What was it called, Julie?
McVention.
Yeah, McVention. It was like a
Crow Convention in Minehead. McVention in
convention in
Scotland.
Minehead,
Oh,
and yeah, then they decided Butlins decided not to do it, so it's going to be somewhere else. Anyway, that's a shame, but it was good. It used to work very well, but hey, things happen.
yeah. Carl Benson, who's the guitarist of Half Man, Half Biscuit. He said, "Hi, John. The original Co were the first band I ever saw live. They were the heroes of my youth, and I still love the 1970s albums. I've been playing music professionally since the 1990s, and I would never have picked up a guitar if it wasn't for the original Co. So thanks, John. Looking
Pleasure.
forward to seeing you in Chester on the 12th of May."
Oh, good. Yeah, lovely, lovely.
Yeah, I'm also gonna be there as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing you, of course, and Carl Benson. So and Aiden Leroux, because my tech support, he said that picture good and sound mostly clear. So that's good to hear. Right. So you met Rick Parfitt and Alan Lancaster, and so you formed a band together. Around what year was this?
Well, we all got together. Like I say, we met Rick Park at 65. So I can't,
Francis Nile and 62.
yeah, with Francis and 62, of course. But yeah, I'm not sure what. I know the first hit record was with Rick and
Yeah.
Alan, Francis, and me, and Roy Lyons, I think, was Pictures of Matches Men 1968. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
When I
that was,
when Yeah, pardon. Go on.
yeah, it was 1968. First hit record, I mean, Top of the Pops in Manchester. And
Wow.
it's quite a thrill to be doing Top of the Pops because in those days, it was like, wow, Top of the Pops, you must be really doing well. Uh, then they moved it to London and Shepherd's Bush, I believe. Then they moved it down to the White City in London, just not too far down the road, and it stayed for many years.
Yeah. When I moved to Manchester in 1996, because, like I said, I only knew about the 80s stage co. I saw pictures of Matchstick Men being played on TV. I think it stopped the Pops too when I saw it for the first time. And I thought that was absolutely amazing. It was so good. But I believe you didn't really enjoy being part of that. So, like, because I think they call it like a flower power
Well, I think
thing.
yeah, what we did, we had all those really jackets and shirts and frilly shirts and all of that. It wasn't really us, and I think many moons later, Bob Young was our roadie at the time, then became tour manager. He, we wanted to change our direction, and so he suggested grow your hair long, wear jeans, t-shirt, and play boogies and some rock and roll and change a bit quite different from what we were doing. Trying to be, it was all pop star and frilly shirts and all that, and really, it wasn't really us. And having said that, long hair,
Yeah,
um, you know, that's how it started. It was thanks to Bob Young for giving us a better direction, and it worked out well.
Yeah, it's more sort of like rock and roll instead of
Yeah.
maybe psychedelic 60s or like you said, flower power kind of music. Um, Nick, we've got another one. Nick Capuro. He just sort of like messaged that, "Hi John, I'm a huge fan of Co and want to personally thank you for creating such great music." He has one question though. Can you recall which song was the most challenging for the band to record?
Well, uh, I don't remember any being challenging. I suppose. I don't know. Uh, we're in the studio a lot. We I think we made 14 albums. I think it was 14 or 16 albums. There's a lot of music and a lot of recording. And there's a sort of saying, really, if we weren't on tour, we were recording. If we weren't recording, we're on tour. So we were always very busy. But I suppose 4,500 times was probably a challenging tune to play, a mystery song, loads of it, But don't forget, we were playing all the time, so we got used to it.
Yeah, because it has been so. It looks like it was a really, really busy time for you. Because there's also this is. This is all from sort of like Googling and Wikipedia that apparently there's also quite a lot of alcohol and dope during those times, and it's just I suppose it's the time where it's the 70s, isn't it? That's like that's just so like would you say it's the norm for rock stars to do that?
Well, I think it was. It came along as it did in those days with lots of bands. And really, you see, I'd never smoked cigarettes. And mum and dad did, but then they stopped it. And I remember trying dad's cigarette once, and it made me sick. And I thought, well, I'm not ever going to smoke. Didn't smoke. Remember smoking a bit of cannabis once, but made us all laugh, and it was hilarious. But I don't. I'm really just like to go to a pub and have a drink. Really, a few beers, and that's my limit, really.
Yeah, well, there's a quote there that I found really funny that because there's you consumed a lot of alcohol and the people could get high just by standing next to you. And I
Really.
thought that's yeah, that's really good. Neil said that he loves your drumming on Mystery Song, and the full length album version is brilliant. Yes, it's that's good. Do you know one of the things that I always ask the drummers is if they twirl? And I remember when I saw that pictures of Matchstick Man, you were twirling like both hands.
Yeah, I know. What a waste of time, but I don't really do that anymore.
Oh, you don't? Oh no! So we don't expect we can't expect twirling on the 12th of May when we see you in Chester. So
You never know. I might do it
you'll
just
never
for
know.
you.
Yeah, and also it's good that the drummer is actually at the front when you
Oh,
play
that was
the.
Top of the Pops. Yeah, yeah. Well, see, the thing is, when I come to Chester, it's John Coghlan's Quo Reimagined, and it's with three jazz players. There's Alex Still on keyboards. There's Paul Jeffries on double bass. There's me on drums with brushes and some sticks. Uh, then there's I've got what's his name. uh, uh, anyway, yeah, play on violin and vocals. Yeah, yeah. I'll think of his name in a minute.
Oh, so it'll
Ben,
be so
Ben
like
Holder.
fun.
Ben Holder.
Ben Older. So it'll be status quo songs, but played differently because it'll be like a jazz version of it.
What it
Is that
is,
right?
the first time we did a gig and in Warwick Hall in Burford, not far from where I live, not in Oxfordshire. It was a mixed audience, some Crow fans, some jazz fans, and so I wasn't sure which way it was going to go. And an interesting thing, um, Ben said, announced that we're going to do Mean Girl, and who wrote it, John? I said, well, I think it's Bob Young. And Jelly was in the audience, my wife, and she said, oh, Ben, Bob Young sitting here next to me with his wife, Sue. And Ben was really funny. He said, oh, my God, Bob Young's here. And but Bob loved it, and it was just really status quo songs, but in a jazz feel, with slightly different arrangements. But I mean, really, you still would recognise the song. It hasn't
Yeah.
changed that.
Yeah. Um, I have to say that I also want to say hello to Noel because he just said hello, John. Noel is in Manila, so thank you for staying up late and joining us. Um, there was, when I posted the guest announcement, you coming on the show today, several musicians actually like commented on it, and uh, like I said earlier, most of them are just almost all of them said that you're a legend. I just want to say that Pete Hurst said that it's so cool that you're going to be on the show. Andy Strickland, who's in the Loft, and now in the Chesterfields, he said that first time I saw Stageco, it was 1973. um, you did a great drum solo, he said,
Oh,
which ended with you laying down in front of the kit playing the bass drum with sticks. Do you
oh yeah,
remember that at all? Yeah.
yeah. Going around the kit, playing all the rims, and yeah, that's right. Yeah, just showing off really. Yeah,
well, well, he's definitely a big Stays Quo fan as well. And
good.
another one is Stuart Kerr, who's the drummer of Friends Again, a Glaswegian band. He said that you're a legend and that he loves you. He loved your boiler suits back in the day. Is I mean, I'm not really sure what a boiler suit is, but is it just an overall, like
Well,
an
no, it's
overall?
like a green. It's a bit like an Air Force thing with a zip up the front, and really, yeah, it was green. I guess it's just green and looks like a military bit of
Oh,
Flying suit.
flying suit. Yeah.
oh right, okay. Yeah. Andy Akazi, he said that you're a true drumming legend. And Steve Roberts, who's in 16 Tambourines, he said that he saw the original lineup of Status Quo at the Apollo in Manchester, I believe, when you reformed for a tour. And he said that it was like 10 years, maybe 10 years ago. And
Yeah.
it was one of the highlights of his life
Yeah, it was
because Status
13,
Quo was his favorite band. Yeah.
2013 and 2014. Yeah, we one was a UK tour and the other one was Europe
And UK.
and UK as well. But yeah, it was good fun, and I'm pleased we got to do it when we did because later on in life, Rick died, passed away, and so did Alan.
Mm.
So it's great that we did it.
Yeah, yeah. Is there so like there's just two of you left from the original so like lineup. Is there any plan of doing it again? Maybe or no? Not at the moment.
No, Francis is doing what he's doing. I'm doing what I'm doing. We don't really see each other, but we're always busy, and he's doing his thing. I'm doing mine. So it's about it,
Yeah,
really. Yeah, but
yeah. Well, Rob Jones, who's the drummer for the Mighty War, he also said that you're excellent. John McGlone, who's in the Western Promise, he said that you're a great drummer. And Gary
right.
Craig, who's also a drummer, said nice. So like, and also Mark Whiteside, who's in Evil Blizzard. He's the drummer of, in a band called Evil Blizzard. He said that you're a fabulous shuffle man.
Shuffle.
uh, Shuffleman, one of the best, he said.
Thank you. That's very
Yeah.
kind. But yeah, shuffle came from all the jazz bands I used to see. Well, I say all the jazz bands. So the shuffles just it's really good. Um, doing that and fours on the bass drum and shuffle with the left hand sometimes. And Francis, remember, he said do the shuffle with the left hand as well. So we had shuffle, especially in my chair, that track, and that was like the ride cymbal and the snare drum doing the shuffle, and it seemed to work. Yeah.
All right. Neil wanted to ask, did you feel that the sound of Stage Code changed a lot after 1976 once you started to bring in outside producers instead of producing yourselves?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have said that. Said, oh, it's better if the band had just produced themselves like we used to. And I think there was some people said that there was when Pip Williams produced us, and But I thought it was good. I liked it. I liked most of all that anyway. So everyone's entitled to their opinion, I suppose. But it was quite different, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. Your time in Status Quo, like the early years of Status Quo, must have been wild, really wild. Just sort of like when I was sort of like researching it. But talking about wild, 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 because you had an entry in that book by Malcolm White about Slade. So you contributed to that one. And I remember sort of like when Don Powell was on the show, I asked him about it because you went on tour with Slade in Australia, and apparently there were plainclothes policemen, so like traveling with you. Because can you just tell us more about that, please?
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Slade were great. They were great friends of ours, and I still keep in touch with Don Powell. And Don is, I think Don Powell's got a band called Don Powell Band or whatever. And Don's great. And we did. Did we do?
The Australian tours. She's asking about
That,
Australia.
oh, sorry, the Australian tours. I must have listened.
the policemen on the planes.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, what it was. Yes, sorry, it was Slade, Slade Scroll, Lindisfarne, and a band called Caravan on one tour. Anyway, we got to Australia, and then we were flying internally around Australia on tour with the four bands and road crew, and we were told that there's three or four detectives on the flight each time because they thought we may all play up and be silly and do silly things on the plane. But what they hadn't realised is that we'd been warned about it in the first place. So, there's four bands, there's four road crew as well. So it's quite a lot of people on each plane. I remember they used to sit at the back of the plane and we'd smile, wave to them. And I remember when we finished the tour to get off the plane, probably in Sydney to fly back to Heathrow in London. And I said, "Hi guys, how are you? And any arrests?" And they said, "No, get off the plane, mate."
Oh, right. So, but apparently we were all well behaved during that
Oh yeah,
tour anyway. So,
yeah. We were spot on, and no problems, and we behaved ourselves because we knew we weren't going to do anything anyway. I mean, we don't want to do anything stupid, just four good bands and four road crew and all behaving themselves really.
yeah. Well, I was going to ask you this earlier on the show, but I just Spud. That's your name, Spud. Where did that come from? And did you have already? Were you? Yeah, you've got a book called Spud. So is that a name that you already had before Cisco, or is that from
No, I'll tell you
Cisco?
what. I'll tell you how that happened. It was we'd all gone. It was the early days of being on top of the pops, and we had our frilly shirts and coloured trousers and jackets and things. And I think we'd been trying some clothes on for doing top of the pops that week, and we're walking down the street. I think somewhere in Soho, Wardour Street, wearing these clothes. Before I don't know where we were going. Probably for a meeting with the management or something. And Rick Parfitt said, "John," he said, "those trousers are a bit baggy around the back side. You look like a sack of spuds."
Oh my god! Oh god!
So sack of spuds, mate. That's where spud came from. And
Oh,
Alan Lancaster was Nuff Nuff. He got called Nuff Nuff. We're in South. No, we're in Avignon in our Spectres days. I mean, it's ridiculous. We drove down to France to do a gig, stayed for a week or whatever. And Rick was Reg and Francis was Frame because he was like a worry Frame. So we all had nicknames. All the military, in fact, had nicknames. It's just one of those things, Mine was Spud, the Spud, Nuff Nuff, uh, Reg and Frame. How you know?
and, yeah, and do people still call you Spud when
Who?
do so like the fans when they see you? Do they still call you Spud?
They call me John now for some reason.
Oh, okay. Well, you showed us that book. That's still available, right? But only
Oh yeah,
on your website.
yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
Julie, she wants to know about the book, darling.
Email, everyone just emails me to get it.
Email Julie.
Look
All
on Jill's
right. Yeah.
page.
Well, later or later today, or when I do these sort of like thank you posts, I'm gonna include Jilly's email address. So if
Yeah.
anyone wants to sort of like order a copy of Spod, then they can get it from you.
And there's also we've got drumsticks, Vic Firth drumsticks with my name on. There's drum heads and drum skins. Well, drum heads
Photos.
and photos as well. Me playing, Yeah. So there's quite a
Oh
lot
wow.
on that site. Just contact Julie.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I'll include the link on the Ask the Drummer page. So if anyone wants to like get a copy of the book or the drumsticks and stuff. Yeah. So Scott Wallace said that it's Status Quo is the first live band he's seen in Edinburgh in 1978. So thank you for joining us, Scott. So in 1981, apparently, so you just got fed up with all the touring, and if you're not touring, you're recording. So it must have been really busy. So in 1981 you just sort of like got fed up and left.
Well, I think it was they were doing lots of Bob Hope, cocaine, and I was against it. So was Bob, and it was just those things. I mean, I think we've been together a long time, working hard, as all bands in those days were. It's just like 70s and up to 80s, and I think we just I don't know. I couldn't hear the headset properly, and there was a lot of aggravation and a lot of upset, and we were all tired. And I think looking back, we could have uh, got on a better plane and just somehow sorted it out and carried on. But yeah, I think I went back to the Isle of Man where I was living at the time and took a year off. I just didn't touch drums for a year. Then Diesel Band came out again. I got Jackie Linton, Mickey Moody, Bob Young on harmonica, and people like that. And we did quite a bit. There was another band, excuse me, another band I had called Partners in Crime, which is very, very good band. Yeah, I wish I
Yeah,
could have kept going, but there was a guy called Noel McCullough who's got a great voice, excellent. It's just one of those things. Of course, I was still living in the Isle of Man then, as a tax exile, as they call it, and he was only allowed back in the UK 60 days a year. So I think I could have. If we had better management at that time, could have been good. Maybe we could have done something, but and I played with Eric Bell, Noel Redding. I think Mick Taylor came and joined us as well for one or
yeah,
two gigs. But it was good days, and there's also loads of people I played, sat in with and played with. I do that now. I sit in with other bands and do a few close songs. It's good fun. I enjoy it.
yeah, yeah. Well, you mentioned Partners in Crime, because when I was in Glasgow a few days ago, I actually found three singles by Partners in Crime. It was so good. So I looked them up. It's you become sort of like a cult band, because people sort of like thought that you're gonna be like really big, um but apparently so like it's just so like you disbanded, or you just
Well,
after one album you just saw like didn't carry on.
I think it was round. We could have had better management, maybe. I don't know, and that could have helped. And if I could have lived in the UK, because I think we were paying 94% in tax. And I went to our man.
Oh,
Yeah, ridiculous. Why would you want to work? If you're going to pay that
I
amount.
see.
Yeah, ridiculous. So yeah, 15. It was only 15 in the Isle of Man. So I stayed. Me and Jill stayed there for 10 years. It was good fun. But having said that, I think Partners in Crime could have been good. I think Noel was singing with other bands and stuff. So it was a bit split up here. Now and again. But it was good fun. It was what it was.
Yeah,
It was Hold On. A track called Hold On was a single. Noel
yeah, yeah,
saying that did well.
yeah, yeah. No, I was really surprised when I saw it, because I was looking at the 7-inch singles, and there were also like three of them together, and I was sort of like thinking. I looked at the back, and it's got your photograph in there. I was like, oh my god, oh my god! It's like, and I'm gonna be asking him about this on Sunday. So like, so I bought that too from the shop, so which is good. But Lucinda Blaker Tweeny or something. He said she said the afternoon John from Paul and Lou. And Aiden said, because you mentioned Eric Bell, so Aiden worked with Eric Bell, helping him in a sort of like non-musical role for his solo albums Exile and Standing at the Bus Stop. Because Eric Bell is still going; he still sort of
Yeah.
like plays. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
there's also a band called the Rockers, which was a Dutchman got in touch with me and said, "Would you play drums?" And it was Roy Wood, and it was um, Roy Wood, Phil Lynott on bass, and Chase Rogers on keyboards, and me on drums. We made I think it was an album. Yeah, we did an album with some tracks on it, and it was good. It was the only thing is, I remember that there was uh, a video to be recorded, and Bev Bevan was on that because I remember something happened that I couldn't get back from where I was to do the recording, so um, it was Bev Bevan on the video, miming to all the drums that I played on the track. But these
Oh,
things, yeah,
it sounds like super group. It's like with the Roy Wood and Phil Lynott and yourself.
yeah.
So did you ever sort of like tour or just
No,
recorded? No, you
no,
didn't.
there was no gigs at all, which I thought was a bit strange. And it would have been good, I think, to do maybe a couple of London gigs, a couple of gigs Manchester, maybe, and do a
Yeah.
few gigs. But it never happened. No,
What about the Diesel?
Diesel
Because
band, yeah,
yeah,
that was that was quite a lot of different musicians in that band, and it's nice to play Mickey Moody. There was quite a few guitarists, which I've forgotten about now. There was loads of musicians around at the time who really liked being in Diesel Band because it was just blues. Then Rick Parfitt and Alan Lancaster got up and joined me on stage, and that was the marquee. And
oh
I'd gone by then, I was out of the choir by that time, but you know, it was good. Diesel Band was great. In fact, I'd like to even get back together with that one day and play some
yeah,
more blues. Blues is great. I love blues.
yeah. Um, I don't I don't hope you don't mind me asking you this question, but do you sort of like regret leaving Status Quo?
Well,
Well,
yeah, I suppose in a way, it was a silly thing happened, and it could have been better. And these things happen, and yeah, it's such a shame. I think we could have all just got together and had a chat and got it sorted out. And but never
yeah.
mind, these things happen.
Yeah, yeah. And I mentioned earlier about Live Aid because I remember it's so vivid in my mind. I was a teenager and seeing Status Quo opening the Live Aid ceremonies. But you were already gone by that time. So is it and I've also read that is it true that you were a bit sad that you weren't the one sort of like playing
Well, I think
the, the songs?
Alan Lancaster said that he wanted we should get John back in to play drums for it, and you know, I think it could have been good. I would have done it, of course, and but it didn't happen, and I didn't get the phone call. So hey, these things happen.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Neil, wanted to ask you which of Cole's latest songs that you didn't play on are your favorites?
Never listen to them.
I don't really listen. I
Oh, you
don't
don't
really.
really?
Julie just spoke up. Yeah, I don't really listen to them. Man. In the army now was. I told Francis I like that, and the loads of fans didn't because they said it really wasn't a status quo song. But it's a good arrangement. It's a good song. But hey, these things happen to us sometimes. But uh,
Yeah,
I'm sure Live Aid was good, but it seems like quite mad and quite dramatic, and load of bands on, and
yeah,
probably made them backstage, and whatever. But it was what it was.
yeah, yeah. Um, we mentioned Don Powell earlier, and one of the things I always sort of like asked Don Powell is because he was on the Heritage chart, so he's still going and he was doing it. And I looked up the Heritage chart, and apparently in 2021 you were number one on chart
Yeah,
with No Return.
yeah, a track called Lockdown. Yeah, that's right. It was John Coglan's quote with Mick Hughes, Mick Hughes,
Pete Mace, Rick Chase.
Pete Mason, Rick Chase, and me. Yeah, it was a good song written by Pete
Yeah.
Mason. Yeah.
So, any other are you thinking of releasing any more so like songs to be on the Heritage chart again? Because I think Don Powell was on it only a few months ago.
Yeah, he was, and that's right. And also, John Coglan's Co reimagined with Alex, Paul, and um, uh, sorry,
Then,
Ben Holder. Uh,
yeah.
we've made a CD. We've done some recording, so there will be a CD coming out quite soon. With the Corey songs on, and but in a jazz feel. So we'll see.
Oh wow. Well, that's we're really going to look forward to that one. Lucinda asked, "Are there any young drummers you like?"
Like all the drummers I like at the moment are Brian Bennett, Bobby Elliott, um, Simon Phillips. Oh, there's loads of drummers, but I don't really know any young ones. I suppose there must be young ones out there, but I haven't seen any lately.
Yeah. um, Another thing that I've sort of like found out from my research is you were called the Frantic Four,
Yeah,
the which is just the original lineup of but now there's only like the two of you left. So,
Frantic
yeah.
too.
The Frantic Two. That's right. I remember because Francis Rossi did a book tour, I think, in Sale near me, and I was like thinking, oh, I would like to go to that one. It's like an evening with
Mm.
Rossi, but I think I didn't go because it's a bit expensive. I think so. So, well, I'll give it a miss. Well, maybe
We
next
do
time.
the
Yeah.
Yeah, Julie said we do them much cheaper.
Oh no, yeah. No, because I don't think I'm not sure if he actually sang or maybe it was just like a Q&A event. So yeah, I think I would prefer so like see you play the drums. So that's gonna be on the 12th. If anyone saw like in the UK would like to go and see you play drums again, it's on the 12th of May, which is a Sunday, 2 weeks from now, and it's
Yeah.
in Chester. I think it's called Alexander's or something.
Yes,
So
it is. And I think also I think a couple of weeks later we're playing in Leicester. I'm not sure which gig that
oh,
is.
a Booze and Blues
Oh, the Booze
Festival.
and Blues
oh right.
festival.
Oh, okay. So is that before or
That's
after the
after.
Chester?
That's
After the
after
Chester.
Leicester.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, yeah. Another one that I've discovered about yourself is your fondness for vintage military vehicles.
Oh yeah, military. Yeah, yeah. I just sold my Sim Commander, and that's gone to a company called Real Vehicles, and they supply vehicles for films, and so they got my truck, and they said they're going to put it on a movie, and so is it Paddington about
Oh yes.
something probably Paddington? I said you should dress me up as Paddington because I know how to drive it.
Oh, well, I'm just sort of like wondering because Stephen Morris, the drummer of New Order, he also has like um vintage like military vehicles. So I'm sort of like thinking, is this like a drummer thing that maybe you like? Like, so,
I think it really came from a friend of mine, Richard Bedell, who was the president of the Military Vehicle Trust, which is about nearly 7,000 members in the UK. And, he got me to drive one of his trucks once. And I thought, oh, I'm going to get one of these. And I bought a Bedford QL. I got a Humber Snipe, a Volvo Sugar. Um, what else have I had? I've had loads of different stuff. I don't now because the only trouble is, see, I'm not mechanic. If something goes wrong, I have to get someone to fix it. And
yeah.
you find with old vehicles, when one bit goes, you have to replace the second bit or the third bit because that's gone as well. So it all gets a bit expensive. And the other thing is, you have to use them frequently to keep them running. Keep the batteries
Yeah.
up, and otherwise you end up with a flat battery, and it doesn't. I don't think it does them any good to sit around. They need to be used.
So you don't have them now. You've sold them all your. Because I was gonna ask you, where do you keep them? Because I think with Stephen Morris, he just has it in his garden or something.
No, mine was on a Isle of Man. They were in my back garden at the time. I had 4 vehicles at the time. But one thing we did do was we drove our Bedford QLs down to Portsmouth for the 40th, um, 40th and 50th anniversary of D-Day. Obviously two different big do's, to drive to Normandy. And we spent some time in Aramarsh, and it was lovely seeing all the French and the Canadians and French and loads of people there. But
Yeah.
because of the World War Two, the Normandy landings, and it was great. Then we took some amphibious ducks out and went to sea with all the veterans laying reeds in the sea. It was quite moving.
Oh well. So when you had it, you actually sort of like drove it, so like,
Yeah,
and not just sort of like in the garden. It actually sort of like went to places, so like driving the
yeah,
vehicle.
yeah. That was a long
Wow.
time. Yeah.
Oh wow. Um. Also, you never stopped when you were sort of like younger. You never stopped playing. You were always in the band and everything. What about now? Do you still sort of like do a lot of drumming or?
Well, not really. I suppose I play with the Jazz Reimagined, and that's could be every few weeks and stuff like that. Sometimes I get the pad out and play on the pad, but there's nothing better than playing with the band,
This
playing
is him with
musicians.
Break the Rules.
Yeah, Break the Rules. There's a great little band called Break the Rules, which an excellent tribute to Status Quo. They play loads of songs, and I work with them quite often. I can sit in and play 3 or 4 songs, and
Oh,
we get on fine. It's good fun.
yeah. That must have, the band must have felt really so like honored to have you there. So like playing with them, you know. Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, I've got to like all these things that I wanted to ask you as well, because the twirling bit, so like, I really hope that you'll still do it, in
Get a
Chester.
pair of sticks.
Yeah.
Get a pair of sticks. I'll do. I'm going. Billy's going to pick up a pair of sticks. I'll do a 12 for you, darling.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, because I just think it is so like a nice sort of like way for the drummers to actually sort of like, because it is entertainment, isn't it? Like the drummer that I had last week, it is sort of like showbiz and it's entertainment. So when you do things like maybe twirl or throw sticks and then catch it again and things like that, it's just, I think it's wonderful when people
It's
when
like
drummers do
it's okay till you drop it, then you have to pick it up.
that. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, yeah. But yeah. So hopefully you will sort of like still do it. Oh, oh wow. I mean, it's so like,
Yeah, I'm not doing it properly. I haven't done it in years. Look. Yeah, well, there you go.
yeah, it's both hands as well. Oh, that's brilliant, and it's
And
signed.
I got a signature on there. Look, you can just see my signature. Oh, there we are. Look.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
Amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Um, Another question I wanted to ask you is, someone Lucinda asked you about, is it Lucinda? Was it? Yeah, yeah. Any young drummers you like? But I wanted to ask you about any drumming heroes. Do you have any sort of like
Oh,
drumming heroes?
I was very lucky on a quote tour, UK tour. There was a guy who worked for Premier Drums. I was using Premier at the time, and he said, "John, I understand you like Buddy Rich." I said, "Yeah, I've never seen him. I've seen him on telly, and I'd love to go on to Ronnie Scott's, and which I should have." Anyway, uh, he said, "Would you like to meet him?" I said, "You're kidding, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah, loved it." Anyway, Eddie Haynes, I think his name was Eddie Haynes of Premier Drums, and he said, "Oh, Buddy's a friend of mine." Anyway, it turned out that I think I think we were playing in Manchester, and Buddy Rich was in um,
Blackpool, Preston.
Preston Guildhall, I think, or it could have been the other way around. It was a long time ago. He
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
"I'll have a word. You can meet him." Anyway, so we a roadie drove me in one of the vehicles down to go and meet him. Walked in the stage door in the afternoon, and I could hear someone playing on a drum kit. There's Buddy just playing his drums, and we came in, and his tour said, "Buddy, your excuse me, your guest is here." Anyway, so I met Buddy. He was lovely and smashing. We spent 2 hours talking, and he said, "Hey, John," he said, "why don't you play my drums?" He asked me to play his drums. No, I went, "What? Oh my God," and it was like, and I sat on his drums and played away what I could do. But man, it was lovely. There was a journalist there, a girl, and a photographer, and she said, "Buddy, you're the best drummer in the world. What do you think of this long-haired rock drummer?" Thinking, pointing to me. And Buddy Rich, this is God's honest truth. Buddy Rich said, "Well, ma'am, there's no need for that. He's doing his job. I'm doing mine." Yes.
Oh, how old were you then? How old were you at the time?
Oh, a few years ago now. I don't know, darling, but it was a few years ago. But isn't that amazing that he asked me, or he said to her, don't, no, there's no need for that. He's doing his job. I'm doing mine, which is
Yeah,
true. Do you know what? I think the reason we got on so well was that I didn't ask him, "Buddy, can you show me how to play, you know, a paratriplet or whatever it is, and those drumming thing." And I think a lot of people used to do that and ask him, "Can you show me how to do it?" And I probably think he probably thought, "Why don't you just get the book and look at the book and read the book and teach yourself?" But it was good, and I was so pleased. And I just, when he said, "Have a play, John," I wanted the floor to open up and swallow me, because I'm not as good, So, but it was a nice. All the drummers I've met in my life, I've met them all. Charlie Watts, Bobby Elliott, Simon Phillips, Buddy Rich, and loads of drummers. And
yeah,
I've been very lucky in my time to be able to meet them and say hello. Went to
yeah.
me and Simon Phillips got invited to with our ladies to go and see Charlie Watts at the jazz festival thing. It was, and it was. I'm expecting Charlie Watts with a band, playing trumpets and saxophone. It was just three drummers doing drum solos, and it was quite strange. And we got invited back to Charlie's house in Cheney Walk, and Charlie was lovely. I spent an hour talking to him after we had a drink at his house, and yeah, good. I've been very lucky.
What about John Bonham?
Oh yeah, Bonzo. Yeah, I met. This is interesting. Ken Jones was a tour manager of the Kinks, and he said, "John, we're recording in a theatre in London. It was for the BBC, and you get on stage and you play live, and they record a few tracks. And when me and the Kinks and Ken Jones got there, and there's an artist on stage, and oh man, it was this drummer called, we didn't know at the time, but it was John Bonham, and I was just trying to think of the guy's name. Can you remember it, Jim?
Who? Well, in what connection?
Yeah, it was. I'll think of his name in a minute, but anyway, John walked up to me and Ken and the King said, we were sitting down watching what's going on, and he said, "Buddy, sorry, the guy's going back to the
America.
States tomorrow, and I'll be out of the gig. I haven't got a gig. Here's my phone number. Give me a ring if you hear of a band that needs a drummer." And of course, next thing I know, he's in Led Zeppelin, and I think we had Status Quo had a tour of UK at a different time, much later, and we we also had support. And I said to Colin Johnson, "I might as well get the Pretty Things to support us because I like the Pretty Things. I was a fan, and they were supporting us on a UK tour." Anyway, Phil Murray said to us at the end. He said, "Look, Thank you for inviting us, John. Being supportive, they could promote their album. Anyway, it turned out that they got us some Led Zeppelin because they were on the same record label as Zeppelin, and so they gave us some free tickets to go and see them in London. There's pretty things, and us went sitting in the audience watching the pretty Led
Led
Zeppelin,
Zeppelin.
rather. Sorry, watching Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
I had a quick word with John Bonham after because we were backstage to say hello, and there was um, there was uh, John watching a band. They had a band backstage playing for the Led Zeppelin backstage, and it was I think it was Olympia, I think it was called. It's great, some we've had some good fun.
Yeah, yeah. Lol Tolhurst from The Cure, he's the drummer, original drummer, I think. And he said that drummers are friends. So it's like all drummers are friends. That's like a really good quote that. So would you say that all drummers are friends, that you're also like good so like with each
Yeah,
other?
I think we are. Yeah, like Mick
Yeah.
Avery was no longer Kings. Mick was a good friend. Um, Loads of drummers around. I think we all somehow we all seem to get on and talk about drums, and
Because you're all mad.
because we're all mates, as Jelly
Oh.
said.
So when you get together, you actually talk drums. You
Yeah,
so like.
but nothing else to talk about, I suppose.
um. Well, what about all those years that you've been playing drums? Have you ever had any disasters or any accidents?
No, no, of
No.
course we haven't. Not that I can
um.
remember.
Pardon?
I said not for
Is
publication.
oh, not for public. Okay, not for public. Okay, thank you.
Oh,
Okay. Do you think anyone can be a drummer? Or
I suppose
because I always
they got
say that it's got to be in you.
yeah. It's got to be a rhythm in you that it's but you got to use both feet, both hands, and when you're playing the right cymbal, uh, you know, playing a song, you use your left foot, the hi hat, or you can play four to the bar on left foot and uh, eight to the bar on the right hand, and two to the bar on the left. And you can do really four different rhythms at once. You use a little ching ring on the hi hat, so you got a tambourine sound doing fours, and it's just good. And I think drummers. There are some left-handed drummers. I'm left-handed, but I play drums right-handed. So Ringo was the same. So was John Bonham. We all just adapted to play right-handed because I don't remember seeing a left-handed drummer in my early days, and there wasn't many about. Okay, Phil Collins was, that was much later, of course, but he's left-handed. But yeah, these things are challenging at times, but it's good. I just love playing drums. I've always enjoyed it.
Yeah. But would you say that anyone can become a drummer?
I'm not so sure about that. I think a lot of people get a wrong idea and they say they do, oh, yeah, it must be great. They're always hands are always up here for some reason. Uh, but you got to have rhythm in you, and you need to be able to use both feet as well. Because a lot of people don't realise you have a bass drum and a hi hat, and two hands to play rhythms and the tom toms and things and cymbals. It's quite a challenge, and I think you all need a rhythm in you to be able to do it properly.
Yeah, yeah. I always think that. I always think that. Of course, you can go to a drum tutor and learn how to play the drums, but
Yeah,
I think it's like a gift. It's got to be in you
yeah,
first of all, and then it just comes out. Like when you started, you were just drawn to the drums,
yeah,
and you
yeah,
taught yourself how to do it before going and see Lloyd Ryan.
yeah,
So
yeah. I just think you need a rhythm in you, and you need to be able to do that and listen to the song, and you see what the song needs. It might need a light approach. It may need a heavy approach. It depends. It could be a Latin American. It could be you could be playing with brushes, which I do sometimes on some of these reimagined gigs. But it's all good fun. I enjoy doing that.
Yeah. My last question is, because I know it's nearly 3 o'clock now. What would be your advice to aspiring drummers or musicians in general?
Well, I think really get someone, a good teacher, maybe a teacher, listen to records, and you can learn off records, which I did, and you just think, well, learn. Also, you can learn to read. I can't read music, but I never did. I never learned, but learn to read music is another one because you can get good scores to be able to play in big bands and stuff like that. But yeah, and just think about it first. Get yourself uh, a good teacher. Get yourself a nice drum kit, and don't have too many drums. I've just got the usual four drums and probably 4 or 5 cymbals and hi hat, and that's about it really. That's all I need, and I just wish you all the best. And if you are learning, enjoy.
Yeah, yeah. So you don't need like in the drummer of Rush where he's got like surrounded by all these. So you don't need all that.
No, well, maybe he has a reason for having all those
Yeah.
drums, but
Because
I,
sometimes, yeah. Go ahead.
sorry, darling, I have
No,
no issue to. I don't need all those drums for what I play.
yeah. I just want to say hello to Jonathan Preston as well. He's joined us late, but you can always rewatch it. And also, I'm gonna be uploading this on YouTube, so anyone who missed it can watch it again. So before I let you go, do you want to just like invite everyone to your gigs? So one in Chester and also in Leicester, you said, or is it a
Yeah, there
festival
is.
in Leicester?
There's a blues and booze festival or something, or booze and blues.
Saturday, May the 25th.
Saturday, May the 25th. That one is in Leicester.
Stoughton Grange.
Stoughton Grange.
I've sent Anne the link.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and the one in Chester that I'm really looking forward to is because that's where I'm finally going to see you play live as well. So that's Alexander's, I think it's called in Chester.
That's right. Yes.
Sunday, May the 12th.
May the 12th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's your book and drumsticks that they can purchase and yeah, Spud, that's the one. There's another book I think, which is I think it's a Coghlan and Co. Something
Very
like that.
old, out of date.
That was the first one. That's out of date now. But that was helped. Stephen Myatt did that with me, and yeah, Stephen Myatt did this one as well, Spud book as well. Yeah, so yeah, there's only been 2 books.
Right. So this one is more the updated version of it, and,
Oh, yeah.
and this is still available to purchase. But the other one, I believe, is not. Yeah. Right. Well, thank you so much, and thank you, Miss Julie. Thank you so much for for sorting this out. Hello. Thank you very, very much. Oh, I was so like really nervous. Especially when people say you've got a legendary drummer there, so like you've got to be so. I'm so glad you're so kind.
Been great. You've been great.
You've been lovely. You don't worry, darling. You're very good at your job.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. So I'll see you soon, and take care always. And yeah,
Say hello at Chester.
Come and say hello at Chester.
I will do definitely, and hope you'll be okay to have a photo with you. And
oh yeah.
And yes, thank you so much. I'll be the one who's all like asking for a photograph and maybe signature because I do have the best of Days Cole records as well, so with your photograph and you played some songs.
Come and say hello.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Julie. See you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us live. Oh my god, that was so good. If for those who missed it, I'm going to be uploading it on YouTube later today, and also you can still watch it on Facebook as well if you wanted to. But that was absolutely amazing. God, I just didn't know what to say. But yeah, thank you to everyone who sent us their comments and messages. And thank you to all of you who joined us live. Yeah, I think this is like the best one yet. Like what Dennis said, the biggest name so far. But yeah, tomorrow, not tomorrow, next week, next Sunday, I'm gonna be back with another. I think this time is a drumming. Sorry, a legend in the Irish drumming like community. So do keep an eye out for the guest announcement post for that one. And as always, enjoy the rest of the weekend and love music, love life, love drummers. Mr. John Coghlan, you're so awesome. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time. So thank you so much, Miss Joey. Thank you very, very much. And thank you to everyone. Please do come back next week, next Sunday. Hope to see you all again soon. Thank you. Bye for now. Bye.